It was a day that started out as any other. You know, wake up, drink beer, body paint your girlfriend, though not necessarily in that order. But the news of that day would change our lives, or at least our heads. That's Earthchild. I'd met her at a Dead show out in Spokane a few years back, and we'd been following them together ever since. Except now that it was in between tours, we were crashing in my mom's attic at her house in Jersey, waiting for tickets for 6 shows at the Garden to go on sale. It seemed like a good idea staying at my mom's for free, but every day she'd practically attack me with the newspaper about getting a job. That day, I looked in the paper and couldn't believe my eyes. It was all over. Jerry was dead. Earthchild and I took the news pretty hard, but through our sorrow and lamenting, we began to recollect our experiences about the road. Now I know that most of you who have never followed the Dead before probably wonder, my God, man, however do they live? Well, we had lived off our crafts. Earthchild and I used to make love beads. See, there were always campgrounds nearby the shows where the Deadheads would crash. Well, Earthchild and I used to sell our love beads at these campsites. We'd show up real early and wait for the Deadhead/customers to start pouring in. Now, nobody ever made a fortune doing this, but it had been enough to put gas in the van, buy tickets, get a bite to eat. I mean, we didn't have any phone or electric to pay. We were living in the van. And if we were really strapped, there was always somebody willing to share for food or, well, other essentials. After the last tour had ended, we had returned to our old free studio apartment to find that the neighborhood was on somewhat of a decline. Not to sound elitist or anything, but it really took a turn for the worse. I mean, everybody's got to have some privacy, right? So that had led me back to my mom's house until we were ready to hit the road again. Our sorrow began to pass as we started thinking about all the good times we'd had on the road. But we didn't know what we were going to do now. Right away, my mom was lecturing me to get a job, get married, settle down, have 1.8 kids and a dog named Spot. But all I knew how to do was sell love beads and roll doobies. I just kept saying to myself, man, I can't believe it. Gary's dead. Time began to pass and we were broke. Earthchild was getting tired of living in my mom's attic, and I didn't blame her. I was scared myself because my mom kept saying that there'd be a draft in the attic in the winter, and I didn't want to fight in any wars. My mom was constantly hounding me to find a job. I was committed to Earthchild, which meant I would have to find one, even if it meant lying about my skills and history of drug use. It also meant uttering those 3 dreaded words. Cut my hair. It was real hard to let it go, but I just couldn't think of any alternatives, now that Jerry was dead. Somehow, I managed to get a job at the corporate office of the American Costume Jewelry Corporation. They said it was a ground floor opportunity. Actually, it was a below ground floor opportunity because the mailroom was in the basement. It was 8 hours a day of grueling boredom. Almost as long as one of Jerry's solos, but hey, those I didn't mind. This was pure hell. I can't believe those 9-to-5ers were telling me to get a life back when I was following the dead. A few weeks passed and I was still in the same intellectual void as on day one, or the day before day one, the day before the day before day one, or the day before that, or the day... Well, you get the picture. Then, one day, overnight parcel brought an urgent package for the marketing director. I had to bring the package up to him. This guy was on a total bum trip. I asked him what was wrong. He had just come from a meeting and was all depressed about market share fall off, third quarter drop off, blah blah blah, nonsense like that. You would think he couldn't get tickets for the 9th straight night at the Garden. Basically his last jewelry product idea, Bill Clinton mood rings, wasn't doing very well, and now he was stressed out for a new product. I was going to offer him a hit to cheer him up, but then I thought that might be inappropriate. Then I thought about the love beads that Earthchild and I used to make money from, so I suggested it. He just sat there for a minute, taking it all in. Then I almost had to force him to take a hit to calm him down. He was so excited that he wanted me to come back the next day with samples of our work. I came back with samples, all right, and he was so into it that he had already created a whole marketing plan for a line of exclusive love beads. He called it immediate capitalization. With all the dead products now selling at an all-time high, this stuff had to hit the streets right away. That is, before my fellow deadheads came down off their 28-year trip and came to their senses. It really seemed like the thing to do, you know? Now that Jerry was dead. And man, did it hit. Pretty soon this display was in every fancy schmancy overpriced department store, and everybody was wearing our thing. Punk kids were wearing them, truck drivers were wearing them, even business people were wearing them. We did our thing while the market was hot. No more mailroom slaving for me. In fact, no more work of any kind. Now maybe it was immoral to create a fad out of something like this, you know? The death of everybody's icon. Maybe Jerry would have approved, maybe he wouldn't have. I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, after all, the guy's dead.
Much of a change. Oh yeah. Well, now that the daddy is dead,